So I'm going to talk first of all about cats, because cats, when it comes to pain, have tended to be a lot more difficult for us to learn what they're telling us compared to dogs that are usually a little more outwardly show their signs and are very demonstrative, whereas cats are notorious for hiding pain and a lot of other diseases because of their lifestyle and the fact that they like to hide things in order to stay safe from predators. So we need to kind of turn into little Sherlock Holmes cats to figure this all out. So how many cats have joint disease? So this is arthritis we're talking about. And we've known about arthritis in dogs for a long, long time, and it's been ignored in cats for quite a long time. I'd probably say the last 10 years is when we've just suddenly realized how many cats are affected by this disease. So this is a study where they took 100 cats in 4 different age groups, under 5, and then 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and then up to 20 years of age. And they took x-rays of all of these cats, and what they found was that 92% of them have evidence on an x-ray that there's something wrong with their joint, that they could have arthritis. And when you examine them very, very carefully and palpate them and look for evidence of pain, almost half of them have pain associated with that defect or that disease in their joint. So this is a very, very, very common disease in cats, more than we ever thought. Now, it does increase in incidence with age, but it can occur in cats as young as 2 years of age. So it is the #1 cause of chronic pain in cats. And we've just not been picking up on that for a long time. What we sadly know is that only about 7% receive treatment. And that's from lots of studies, mostly done at North Carolina, when they look at how many cats are affected and then look at how many are actually receiving any kind of treatment that to relieve their pain, which they, of course, need and very much deserve to have their pain treated. So arthritis, and everyone listening in probably thinks of arthritis, it's a disease of joints, and that is true. And there's all sorts of things that initiate it and so on. So it's a disease of the joints, but it's not just a disease of the joints. When you have a joint that is painful for a long time, there's a lot of information goes from that joint, like a lot of pain signals leave that joint and travel through the nervous system, and they end up in the spinal cord and the brain. And that bombardment of our neurological system causes major changes. And I call it rewiring, or it's technically or medically called central sensitization. So even though the origin of the problem is in the joints, the actual whole neurological system in that cat or that dog is altered. They become rewired. So this leads to spontaneous pain generators in the spinal cord and brain, messages getting mixed up, things firing off when they wouldn't. Just like this is actually a street corner in Thailand when I was visiting, and that's how I imagine an animal with chronic pain, what it must look like. It's just a mumbo jumbo and sparks flying. So this leads them to be in a very highly sensitized state, and often will cause actually hypervigilance in these animals. So what does that look like? So this is a video from one of my colleagues at North Carolina, Duncan LaSalle's, and this cat that he's helping examine has joint pain, but what he's doing is to show you how everything about pain sensation in this cat has altered. He's going to gently rub it down its back, and you'll see its response. Yeah. So he's not touching the joints that have arthritis in them. This is not, he's just gently touching this cat. This cat is very, very sensitive to all sorts of touch because of what's happened in its central nervous system, this rewiring. So we need to find these cats. so that we can treat them and have them have a better life. So we can't really just ask a cat. We'd love to just ask a cat, but we can ask questions about the cat, and we can ask owners questions about their cat. And after years of work and a lot of examination of normal, healthy cats without joint disease and cats with joint disease, the group at North Carolina have come up with these 6 questions, which if you answer yes or no to any of these, it probably means that your cat needs to be seen by a veterinarian. But what we're trying to do is get veterinarians to have every cat owner look at these questions and check them off yes or no prior to any visit. And if you say yes to any of these, then certainly, no, if you say no, my cat doesn't jump up and down normally, it doesn't chase things anymore, then you need to see a veterinarian. And so we're using it as a screening tool. And it's 6 very simple questions, which takes probably about 30 seconds to do that. And this will help us find a lot of these cats. This is another very good website by one of the veterinary drug companies. Zoetis are very interested in new treatments, and they're actually biological treatments for arthritis in cats, not the traditional non-steroidals and anti-inflammatories. So they have this website, and owners can go here, and let's just say we're looking at, and these are in that 6, like the 6 questions I just showed you. So this is what they're going to show you at this website. So if a healthy cat is up on the table, there we go. So the healthy cat leaps off the table and off he goes. Now the cat that has joint disease will look for something to break that jump, because it's painful to jump all the way down, especially if they have a problem in their shoulders or their elbows. And then we can also, look at how, a healthy cat would go upstairs, off it goes, but the cat with joint disease would have trouble and would maybe walk awkwardly up those stairs and so on. So it's very helpful to explain to people what their cat is doing when it's healthy and not healthy with its joints. The other thing is change in behavior. So becoming less sociable with other cats, or say if they live with a dog. And on the picture on the left, if you have that sensitization, you aren't going to want a dog, licking. It doesn't feel good anymore. It feels actually painful. And then a lot of hiding goes on because they want to be left alone because of how the pain is making them feel. But another reason that a lot of these cats hide is that they may have been put on a lot of different medications. And a lot of cats, as you know, hate being given a pill. So as soon as they hear the pills, they're gone. And then they don't even want to interact with their owner. So what I've begun to do, and I've done this for actually a long time, is to learn a lot about cats from having owners take videos and send them to me, download them, and then we keep them on file for me to interpret, and we keep them to look at to gauge whether or not our treatment is working and how things are changing over time. So let's look at a few samples that owners have sent to me. So one of them was actually a photograph, and it's of Lou, the 22-year-old cat that you've seen before. So Lou, I know, has arthritis, but the owner tells me that this is his favorite place in the whole house, up on the back of the couch. So I've been to the home because I do some home visits, and mostly pre-COVID, but you got to look for clues. And at that home, there was a good clue. And you can see that the leather couch that he likes to sit on the back of, there's a lot of scratch marks. Now, this is not just him scratching. This is him clambering up and climbing up and having to use his claws to get up to his favorite spot. And we'll talk about how we could make his life a whole lot easier by giving him options to get up there. But that was a really good clue that he didn't just go hop, hop and get onto the back of the couch.